High school baseball is back on Beaver Media and on YouTube Live. This afternoon from Anderson's Memorial Field, 1A Sectional 55 action as Southern Wells takes on Cowan. Good afternoon and hi again, everyone. Brian Beaver along with you again today. This is the resumption of a game that was suspended last night. We played all of 18 minutes and 5 outs. Didn't even get through the first inning as these two teams took it on the chin thanks to lightning and all the other good stuff that goes along with it. But we are in good shape right now weather-wise. We have partly cloudy skies. We have a nice breeze blowing in from the left field corner toward the right field corner, kind of a crosswind, and about 75 degrees. And the staff here at Anderson Prep Academy has done a spectacular job in getting this field ready to play again today. There was a lot of water out here last night, as you might imagine. It's still just a very small spot in left center field, about 70, 80 feet out beyond the infield dirt, where there's a little bit of a pond, just a very tiny amount now. Hopefully it won't come into play early on today. We have another game after this with Anderson Prep taking on Daleville. So about 14 innings of baseball due up today on what we hope stays a dry, warm Saturday afternoon in late May in Indiana. This game will resume with Cowan batting in the bottom of the first inning. Cowan has put 2 runs on the board here in their half of the first, and they'll have Dylan Gaskell, their number 5 hitter, back at the plate. Nobody on base, 2 outs, and an 0-1 count on Gaskell. Elijah Barkell will continue to pitch for Southern Wells. He threw 20 pitches before play was suspended last night. And if you're wondering about the Cowan pitcher, Austin Carnes, he also threw 20 pitches in his 1 inning of work so far. So we'll keep you apprised of all that. We're about set to go. Dylan Gaskell ready to step back in. And we're just about ready for baseball here in Anderson, Indiana. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate having you along for the ride. And we are set to go. Right-handed hitting Dylan Gaskell, the Cowan catcher, back in there. He'll look out at Elijah Barkell, a right-handed pitcher, into his windup. And we're back underway with a called strike at exactly 1:30 this afternoon. 2 no balls and 2 strikes to Gaskell. Barkell has his sign, brings it home. Ground ball right back to the mound on 1 quick hop. Barkell makes easy work of it, and that'll do it for Cowan here in the bottom of the first inning. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We're through an inning here in Anderson in 1A Sectional 55. It's Southern Wells trailing Cowan 2-0 here on Beaver Media and on YouTube Live. Don't go away.
A 50-50 ball, an elbow to the ribs, a sudden flash of tempers. In sports, anything can happen in the heat of the moment. The Indiana High School Athletic Association reminds you that when cooler heads prevail, everybody wins. When the game heats up, will you keep your cool? This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community.
Welcome back to the ballpark. We move to the second inning. Cowan out in front of Southern Wells, 2-0. If you missed it yesterday, game 1 of this tournament was won by Tri-Central. They knocked Liberty Christian out 10-0 in 6 innings yesterday in the early game. Then the elements kicked in and pushed us back to where we are now. So we'll move to the second inning with the Raiders trailing 2-0. Let's set the lineups for you again briefly here. Defensively for Cowan, they have Dylan Goodman in left field, Casey Henderson in center, Max Neutrauer out in right field. On the infield, third to first. Jack Mace at third. Evan Davis at short. Chris Barton is the second baseman. Colin Keir is the first baseman. Dylan Gaskell back behind the plate again today, catching. And Austin Carnes, a right-hander, on into his second inning of work here in this game this afternoon at a great old ballpark, Memorial Field here on the southwest side of Anderson, Indiana. I played here in college, way back, not with the Civil War, but close back in the day. And it's a great place to play and watch a game. They have a really nice grandstand here. So Southern Wells will have 6, 7, and 8 in their batting order here in the second inning, and they'll start things with Braden Schreiber, their first baseman. Big, strongly built right-handed hitter. Pretty close to the plate, and here comes the pitch from Carnes. It's in the air to center field. That should be easy work for Casey Henderson, who goes back, still running, and makes a catch, going back toward the fence for the first out. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Kyle Stroud.
With one out now, the Raiders bring up to bat the designated hitter, number 27.
Stroud batting for the catcher, Brennan Reinhardt, also a big guy and a right-handed hitter. Cowan plays him straight away defensively. Here's the pitch. Inside corner, taken for a strike. Jack Mace, the Blackhawk third baseman, one step behind the bag, even with the cutout, and he creeps in. Ground ball on the right side. It'll be foul. Easy work for the first base coach. By that mistake. Quickly 0-2. Corey Shaw waiting in the on-deck circle. He is a left-handed swinger as we look ahead. Here comes the 0-2. Way outside. Carnes held it too long, and it's 1-2. Flag in straightaway center field. Wafting 5 to 10 miles an hour. There's a pitch inside. A breaking ball hit him, and Kyle Stroud will go to first base after being grazed by that breaking ball from Austin Carnes. First hit batter in the game.
Up to bat now for the Raiders. The right fielder, number 15, Corey
That's
Shaw.
the fourth base runner Southern Wells has had in the first inning through their first 7 hitters. They've had opportunities already in the game. They haven't done a lot with them so far. That brings in Corey Shaw, the left-handed hitting right fielder for the Raiders. They're again wearing those blue jerseys, gray pants, blue batting helmets and hats, white lettering with red trim. They look a lot like the road Chicago Cubs. Carnes now from the stretch. First one home is inside, ball 1. Pinch runner down there at first for the DH is Mason Stevens. He has a short lead, and the next pitch is trouble. Line down the left field line. It's a fair ball. It crawls toward the corner. Good job to get over and cut it off by Dylan Goodman, and it'll be nothing more than a single. But 2 men are on here now for Southern Wells in the top of the second inning. A hit batsman and a slice job single down the left field line. And the tying runs are on board.
Second base right now.
And we've got the number 9 hitter coming up with a chance to tie the game potentially. Mason Stevens is the pinch runner, by the way, for Southern Wells. He's out at second base now. Let's see what Carnes does with the number 9 hitter, Cody Bass. Right-handed hitter, here comes the pitch to him. It's upstairs, ball 1. Bass, a .250 hitter for the regular season. Cowan smelling double play if they could get a ground ball. This one fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
As a courtesy, please return all foul balls to either dugout.
Stevens at second, Shaw at first for the Raiders as they look to get even here in the top of the second inning, trailing 2-0. Big swing and a miss at a fastball up around his chin. Bass is down 1-2. He went well out of the zone, and he knows it. Coach and says, you know what? That one's on me. Carnes brings the next one home. He works him away, too far away. 2-2 the count. This is really a guy you want to get with the top of the order looming in the background. If you could get a ground ball at your shortstop, you might get two and get out of here unhurt. Here comes the pitch from Carnes, and again, outside with it, and the count is full. Good little group of fans from each school here today. It's a long trip for Southern Wells folks from Panito. Carnes ready with the payoff pitch. Tapped foul over toward the third base dugout. We'll do it all over again. Cowan with 2 runs on 2 hits, an error on the board. Nothing in 2 so far in runs and hits for Southern Wells. And here comes another 3-2 pitch from Austin Carnes. So way in the dirt, ball 4, and the bags are loaded. And now you roll over the top of the order, and you've got the potential for real trouble as Mason Huffman comes up to hit. Huffman, the leadoff man in the Raiders batting order, reached on an error to open the game, but was thrown out at the plate trying to score on a hit to right field, and Max Nechar just rubbed him out with a perfect throw to the plate. So Mason Huffman 0 for 1 in the game. Came in batting .319. Cowan in tight on all 4 spots on the infield. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Austin Carnes. Raiders have Stevens at third, Shaw at second, Cody Bass at first. Here's a pop-up back out of play. And quickly 0-2 to Mason Huffman. He was fooled that time. He just reached out and slapped it back over the backstop and over the press box. Here comes the windup in the pitch. Called third strike. Knee high, outside corner fastball, 2 down. That's a big out.
With 2 outs now, the Raiders bring it back to the
second strikeout in the game by Austin Carnes, and with the bags loaded 2 down, here's Dustin Baumgartner. Lines one into left center, right center field. It's down for a hit. 1 run will score. Another man headed home. Here comes the relay throw. He's safe. Throw back down to second, goes into center field, and we're going to have another man score. 3-2. Southern Wells now leads. Wow. Well, Stevens and Shaw come home to score on the single. Bass ends up scoring on the throwing error by Gaskell into center field. 3-run score. Baumgartner ends up down at second on the throw home. Wow. Just that fast. Goodbye lead. Hello trouble for Cowan. And that brings in trouble himself in Evan Huffman, who takes high ball 1. Huffman has homered in 2 straight games, 4 dingers for the season, had 10 a year ago. Wow. He's swinging away, skies one high into shallow right field, second baseman out, right fielder in. Nechar calls for it, and he makes the grab, and it's another big out. A dodge bullet right there on the Cowan side of the field. In the inning for Southern Wells, 3 runs, couple of hits, an error. They leave a man in scoring position. We're through an inning and a half at Memorial Field. It's Southern Wells out in front now, 3-2 over Cowan on Beaver Media and YouTube.
The world of high school sports is filled with athletes who possess the eye of the tiger and whose focus and determination enables them to soar like eagles. The games themselves can't be played without a few zebras. Becoming an IHSAA official is a great way to be part of the action and to support Indiana's healthy tradition of high school athletics. Visit IHSAA.org and get in the game. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in your community.
Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood. And Ivy Tech Community College.
Welcome back to the ball game. We move to the bottom of the second inning. Southern Wells now out in front of Cowan 3-2. Thanks to their big top of the second inning. A key hit, a bad throw into center field from the catcher, and before you know it, you go from leading by 2 to trailing by 1. So work to do for Cowan here in their half of the second inning. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 in the Blackhawk batting order. Dylan Goodman, Colin Keir, and Evan Davis due up for the Blackhawks here in the second inning as they go to work again against Elijah Barkell. Goodman will stand in to start things off. The Cowan left fielder waggles the bat. He's first pitch swinging, and he misses. Strike 1. I got a feeling it's going to take more than 3 to win this game, to tell you the truth. So if you're a Cowan fan, don't worry too much yet. There's a fastball and a beauty on the outside corner, taken for a strike. Goodman down in the count, 0-2. Great to have you along for the action today. Here's a fastball in tight. Goodman laid off, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Weather is beautiful right now. We hope it stays that way for about 5 more hours. It's a ground ball toward the shortstop hole. It's into left center field. That's going to be a base hit. Tough play for the shortstop. Even if he comes up with that clean, I don't think he throws him out from there. And he got a really bad hop on top of it. That'll bring in Colin Keir.
Number 16, the first baseman, Colin Keir.
Keir, a left-handed hitter, first baseman. Throw to first, runner back easily. That was just your calling card. I know you're over there kind of throw from Barkell. And we'll see if we have any kind of action on the bases. Big lead down there by Goodman. He stays, pitches a called strike on the knees. Keir is a .240 hitter. 5 RBIs this season. Snap throw to first. Runner hung out to dry. Heads for second. And they're going to miss him with the tag. He got in under the tag. Wow. Evan Huffman could not get the tag on him. Barkell had him dead to rights. Threw over to Schreiber, who threw down to Huffman, but a great slide by Goodman gets him in under the tag, and he gets another life. Wow. And that puts the tying run in scoring position for Keir, and he fouls one right over at his teammate, Evan Davis, in the on-deck circle. Hey, buddy, how you doing? That makes it 0-2. So Dylan Goodman out at second base in a 3-2 game. Ground ball towards short. Huffman picks it, fires across, got him by half a step, 1 away. Goodman had to hold. So with 1 away, Evan Davis is the hitter.
With 1 out now,
Davis, a .216 hitter, and you get down to the 8-9 spot in your order in high school ball most of the time. You don't have the best hitters, and it's tough to scratch out a run sometimes. But let's see if Cowan has anything on with a runner at second and 1 out. Trailing 3-2. Throw back to second base. Huffman bones the catch, but it rolls right to his teammate at second base. Huffman is having a day, or at least having an inning right now out at short. So from the stretch, Barkell ready with it, brings it home. Line back out of play down the right field side. Ooh, almost had a windshield there. Wow. A lot of anxious moments there. No balls and a strike. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Davis trying to move Dylan Goodman the potential tying run here in the second inning, a 3-2 game. Cowan trailing now. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. And Davis is out on strikes. 2 away.
Davis will come swinging, bring the bat now for the Blackhawks. The second baseman, number 1, Chris Barton.
That's the first strikeout of the game for Barkell, and it brings in the 9-hole hitter, Chris Barton, the second baseman. Here comes Barkell's pitch. Grounded toward the right side softly. Could be a tough play. Gobbles it up, fires over, and just does put him away on a nice play by Dustin Baumgartner. 4-3 on the putout, and that does it for Cowan here in their half of inning number 2. No runs a hit, no errors. They leave a man at second base. We're through 2 complete here at Memorial Field. It's Southern Wells 3, Cowan 2 on Beaver Media and on YouTube Live.
A wintry Friday night. Gymnasium in a tight-knit community. A shot taken. History made. A state of delirium? No. The state of Indiana. High school sports. Pure spirit. Pure sport. Pure Indiana. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community.
We move to the third inning here in 1A Sectional 55. This is game 2 of a 6-game sectional with 7 teams. Tri-Central's win yesterday over Liberty Christian puts them in game 1 on Memorial Day against Westdow. I see some Warriors sitting in the front row here today. Winner of this game will play on Memorial Day against the winner of the next game, which is Anderson Prep and Daleville. We'll have that one for you as well around a half hour after the finish of this one. So we go to the third inning. Cowan goes back out on defense and hopes to hold Southern Wells right where they are in the heart of the order, 4, 5, and 6. The cleanup man, Michael Sutton, to lead things off. He singled his first time up. He was left on base. Karn's still at work on the mound. Here comes the windup and his pitch, and it's a tapper up the third base line. He comes down off the mound, flips, fires, got him on a really nice play by Austin Carnes. That's the play of the day so far. That's a tough 1-3 play. If he doesn't get that one, no one does.
Elijah Barkell.
1 away for Elijah Barkell. Carnes starts him with a fastball away, ball 1. Braden Schreiber casually getting ready in the on-deck circle. Here comes the pitch. Fastball upstairs. It's quickly 2-0. Barkell grounded to short his first time up. He's 0 for 1 in this game. The windup, and Carnes brings the 2-0 pitch home. It's a fastball high and away again. And Barkell is up 3-0. And unless you have the green light specifically from your coach, you better not be swinging on 3-0. He's not, and it's a ball. 4-pitch walk for Barkell. Down to first, and with 1 away, that brings in Braden Schreiber.
Barkell will walk to first base, brings up the bat now for the Raiders. First baseman, number 13, Braden Schreiber.
Second walk for Carnes, go along with a pair of strikeouts and a hit batsman. Schreiber flied to center field his first time up. Short lead at first by the runner. Carnes comes home from the stretch, and it's low and away. Ball 1, and that's 5 straight balls by Austin Carnes. Ryan Conwell, his coach, right up against the railing in the third base dugout, watching him closely. Short lead again. Runner holds, pitches inside, and it's 2-0. Runner at first, 1 out, top of the third. Southern Wells batting, leading 3-2. Both teams with a pair of hits. Pitch. Chopper, foul over near the dugout on the third base side. And Schreiber swung at what should have been ball 3. He's still up 2-1. Casey Henderson, very shallow in center field for the Blackhawks. He has plenty of speed to run the ball down. Carnes has the ball, has the sign, brings it home. Ground ball towards short, hit slowly though. They may not get anybody. Long throw to first. He is out on a bang play. Evan Davis did the only thing he could do, and he did just barely put him away. That's 2 down.
With 2 down now for the Raiders.
Barkell safely at second base on the fielder's choice. And the designated hitter, Kyle Stroud, is back in there for the second time today. Here comes the pitch to him. He steps out. They grant time. He was right in the start of his windup, actually from the stretch into his motion. But they let it go. Here's the pitch. High and tight, ball 1. By rule, if you're into your motion at all, they are not supposed to grant time. 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt, Gaskell tries to smother it, but it gets away. And the runner from second base, Barkell, runs down to third, and now he's 90 feet away. The pitch was the ball. It looked like a passed ball. 2-0 count. Stroud trying to get the next man home with a runner at third and 2 down here in the third inning. Lines one back out of play. Want to make it 2-1. Stroud was hit by a pitch his first time, and the pinch runner for him came around to score. He takes another pitch in off the plate inside. Cowan fans did not like the call. They thought it was a strike. And it's 3-1. Blackhawks trying to get out of here with a donut. There's ball 4 wide and a snap throw down to third. And no problem there for the runner. So men on the corners now with 2 away. The third batter walked by Carnes. Let's see if they're going to pinch run for Stroud down at first base. So far they do not, and that brings in Corey Shaw, the left-handed hitter. Men on the corners, 2 down. Here in the third inning, Southern Wells out in front, 3-2. First pitch is outside, ball 1. Shaw scored one of those 3 runs in the second inning after singling to left center. Carnes working from the stretch. This one behind the hitter. It gets by the catcher, and it goes all the way to the backstop. And Barkell comes home to score the 4th run of the day for the Raiders to make it 4-2. That's a wild pitch. And it expands the Raider lead, and the runner at first base, Stroud, of course, went down to second on that wild pitch. So Shaw with a shot at getting another run home if he can get a single to the green in the outfield here in the third inning. Carnes looks back at the runner, brings it home. Fastball too far inside. 2-0. Austin is struggling a little bit with his control here in the third inning. Trying to get out of it with minimal damage. Here's a pitch for a called strike on the inside corner. Shaw was taking. That makes it 2-1. Swing and a miss. Shaw couldn't get it. Here's the next one. Swing and a miss. Got him. Shaw goes down swinging. That ends the inning for Southern Wells. The Raiders do all the damage without a hit. They score a run. They leave a man at second base. We're through 2.5 from Memorial Field. It's Southern Wells 4, Cowan 2 on Beaver Media.
A crisp October evening. A stadium filled with fans. A pass-through. A journey completed. State of euphoria? No. The state of Indiana. High school sports. Pure spirit. Pure sport. Pure Indiana. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community.
Welcome back to the ball game. 4-2 now as we go to the last of the third. It's Cowan looking to get something going offensively and a good chance to do it with the top of the order rolling around here. 1, 2, and 3 for the Blackhawks here in their half of the third. Southern Wells has scored 3 runs in the second inning and 1 run in the third to turn a 2-0 deficit into a 4-2 lead. First pitch hitting is Casey Henderson, and he blisters one into right center field. A beautiful line drive single to start the Blackhawks here in the third. That's a good sign. Fourth hit of the day, of the game actually, for Cowan. Max Nietrauer, the batter. And we'll see if the bunt is on, and I would bet the lunch money that it will be here early in the at-bat. Good lead by Henderson. He squares, takes outside, ball 1. I would say I'd bet my per diem, but I don't get one. So we'll just say maybe the lunch money. And they feed us really well here at APA. They have these awesome hot dogs. They're huge. And we get a free one in the press box. So we appreciate David Bradford and their hospitality. Snap throw to first. No problem for Henderson. Nietrauer is officially 0 for 0 with a walk. And he looks out, and they smell bunt again, and he squares and bunts it beautifully up the first baseline. He's got a chance to beat that out. Underhand flip and a beautiful play by Barkell just to get him by a step. That's the first out and a sacrifice and a 1-3 play that moves Henderson to second base. And I get to keep my lunch money for another day. That brings in Austin Carnes. And if you're wondering, can Austin tie the game with a swing? He does have a team-leading 2 home runs this season. So maybe so. He's the RBI leader for the Blackhawks. First pitch hacking, fouls it back to the screen. Carnes is an aggressive hitter. Strong. The outfield a little shallow for a guy with this kind of pop. We'll see how that plays out with a man at second and 1 away. Ground ball toward third. It's going to stay fair. It's through the legs of the third baseman. Henderson will head for third. He's safe. They're safe all the way around. That's going to be an infield single for Austin Carnes. And men are on the corners. I guess we're technically going to call that an error. That's a good scoring decision. Now that I think about it. Throw to first, no problem. Jack Mace, the batter. Men on the corners. Those are the tying runs potentially. Runner from next pitch is a ball in the dirt. And everybody's safe again. So Carnes down at second base with the straight steal. And Henderson is at third with Carnes at second now with 1 away here in the top part of the batting order for the Blackhawks as they trail 4-2. There's a fastball, but too high. 2-0 to Jack Mace. Mace picked up an RBI on a fielder's choice. Back in the first inning, here's the pitch to him. Ground ball toward third, fielded cleanly. He'll throw across to first, runners hold, nice play, 2 down. Michael Sutton handled that nicely over to Braden Schreiber. That's a big out. 2 down now, and that brings in Dylan Gaskell.
The 2 outs now, the Blackhawks have at bat the catcher, number 8, Dylan Gaskell.
Dylan, one of those guys who just hustles his tail off all the time. Potential tying runs in scoring position. Line shot, center field, it's over his head. Going back, he gets there. As Mason Huffman goes back on his giddy up to make the play, looking right up into the sun. And Cowan cannot get a run across in the third. Wow. No runs, a hit, an error, 2 men left on base. We go to the 4th inning, the middle frame. It's Southern Wells 4, Cowan 2 on Beaver Media and on YouTube Live. Don't go away.
A 50-50 ball. An elbow to the ribs. A sudden flash of tempers. In sports, anything can happen in the heat of the moment. The Indiana High School Athletic Association reminds you that when cooler heads prevail, everybody wins. When the game heats up, will you keep your cool? This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community.
That's again MethodistSports.com.
We move to the 4th inning here at Memorial Field. It's a 4-2 game with Southern Wells out in front of Cowan here as we reach the midpoint of the game. The line score, Southern Wells 4 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors. Cowan 2 runs on 3 hits with an error. Both pitchers have gone the distance so far, and you can expect that that might be the case for the rest of the game. Austin Carnes going through the last of his warm-up tosses out on the mound. We'll have game 2 in this Memorial Day Saturday doubleheader today. It'll be Anderson Prep Academy taking on the defending 1A state champion Daleville Broncos. That game is scheduled for about 3:30, and we're coming right along here, so we might actually be close to that start time for game 2. I will keep you posted on my Twitter feed at Delco Preps about any deviation from that scheduled 3:30 start time. But for now, knock on wood, the weather has cooperated. We have a nice mix of clouds and sun. That direct sun in May will bake off a lot of that moisture in the fall, in the playing field.
Defensive change
and
for
hopefully
the Blackhawks. Now the pitcher is Evan Davis, number 6. And Austin Carnes goes to shortstop, number 3.
Hopefully the sun will stay out. Hopefully the rain will stay away. We've had a pitching change. They snuck one in on me. Got one by my goalie. Austin Carnes will go to short and flip-flop with Evan Davis. We move to the 4th inning, and it's 9-1-2 in the Southern Wells batting order. This will open with a fastball down for ball 1. Cody Bass, and then the top of the order behind him for Southern Wells in the 4th as they lead 4-2. Fly ball on the next one to straightaway center. Hope that hawk doesn't fly into it. We might have a Randy Johnson moment. Casey Henderson makes an easy catch for the first out. And there he goes. Over left center field. Big hawk over the ballpark. That brings in the leadoff batter, Mason Huffman, with 1 down and nobody on. Here comes the pitch from Davis. Tapper toward third. Mace to his left, in on the grass. Fields and fires and gets him. Nice play, 2 down. That'll do wonders for your pitch count. 3 pitches, 2 outs. And that brings in Dustin Baumgartner.
The Raiders, the at-bat, the second baseman, number 4, Dustin Baumgartner.
Baumgartner looks at a strike to open this plate appearance. He singled in the first, singled in the second. Drove in 2 runs with that one. He's been stranded twice. This one, little tapper foul back And it's quickly 0-2. So Baumgartner having a good offensive game. 2 for 2. Couple of ribeyes. Here's the pitch to him. Big chopper toward the mound. Davis comes down, makes a nice play, and it's a quick 1-2-3 inning, just what the Blackhawks needed here in the 4th inning by Southern Wells. We are halfway home. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Southern Wells 4, Cowan 2 on Beaver Media.
The clutch shot, the timely hit, the perfect pitch, the heroic catch, the brilliant save, the photo finish. The Indiana High School Athletic Association would like to remind you that the biggest plays in sports matter little if you don't practice sportsmanship. Character counts. Practice sportsmanship. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
Welcome back to the ballpark. That was a quick 6-pitch inning by Evan Davis of Cowan. That's just what his team needed as they go now to the bottom of the 4th, trailing in this one 4-2. Dylan Goodman, Colin Keir, and Evan Davis are the scheduled hitters for Cowan here in the bottom of the 4th. Elijah Barkell has gone the distance for Southern Wells. He has scattered 3 hits and allowed just those 2 first-inning runs. Dylan Goodman, the Cowan left fielder, big number 44 on his back, and 1 for 1 in this game with a single earlier today, and this one skips the dirt for ball 1. Good crowd here. Daleville fans are starting to filter in. Next one hits the front edge of the plate. It's quickly 2-0 to Dylan Goodman. Blackhawks are still in pretty good shape, trailing only by 2. There's the fastball just up. Goodman ahead 3-0. Ryan Conwell down at third base, running through the imaginary don't you dare swing signs on 3-0. He's not. He takes a strike. Now you'll get a chance to hit in most places on 3-1. If you've got a pretty good hitter, you might turn him loose here ahead in the count 3-1. Here's the pitch. He is swinging. Tapper up the third baseline. Tough play. Pitcher Barkell down from the mound, and he throws him out on another nice play. We've had a couple of really good defensive plays out of the pitchers today. There's more to fielding that position than standing on the dirt. Well done by Barkell, and that brings in Colin Keir. 3 in a row retired now by Barkell, and here comes the pitch. Fastball outside corner called strike. Keir is 0 for 1. He grounded to short his only trip. Here comes the next one. Line shot. Pitcher got his glove on it. Second baseman fields and fires, but he can't get him. That's an infield hit. Barkell reached to his left and just got the tip of his glove on the ball. Baumgartner, the second baseman, hustled to his backhand side and cut it off and through and made it close. But that's an infield single for Colin Keir, and it brings up the potential tying run in Evan Davis. Chance to help his own cause now as the pitcher. Short lead at first by Keir. He is staying put, and the first pitch home is ball 1. Davis, nothing out of 1. A strikeout, his only time up today. Snap throw to first. Runner was only about 3 feet off, and he's fine. Blackhawks trailing 4-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Davis was just in front, and it's 1-1. Chris Barton loosening up in the on-deck circle, which is actually a square of artificial turf. Throw to first, gets away. Runner is going to head down to second base, and he's safe on a throwing error. The dangers of the pickoff throw come into play. Here now at second base. It's the second error made today by Southern Wells. Swing and a miss at the next one by Davis. He's down 1-2. Run out there at second base if you could get the ball to the outfield. Pop back out of play. First base side, it's over near the concession stand, and Davis stays alive 1-2. Davis, not a very big guy, right-handed hitter, just looking to put one in play with a man at second base and one down. Fly ball out behind short. Couple steps on the grass for Huffman as he puts it away. Evan Huffman makes the grab, and that's 2 down.
With 2 outs now,
that brings up the 9-hole hitter, Chris Barton. 0 for 1 today, grounded to second base. This game is humbling if you don't take advantage of your opportunities as he looks at a ball in the dirt, ball 1. Both of these teams have had chances to score more than what they have and just haven't gotten it done. Here comes the 1-0. Fouled up the first baseline. 1 ball, 1 strike. Blackhawks have Colin Keir out at second base. He's Mr. Lonely right now. He'd like to come home, but he can't do it on his own. There's a called strike, and the count is 1-2. Pitch home. Ooh, nailed him. Got him right in the backside. Barton takes one for the team. And the tying runs are aboard here in the Cowan fourth.
Center fielder number 12, Casey Henderson.
First pitcher to hit someone today was Carnes. Barkell joins that parade now. And men are at first and second with 2 down and the top of the order. That one grazed. Casey Henderson on the left backside of his arm going by, and the bases are suddenly loaded.
Anderson takes a walk to first base as well. Hit by a pitch.
Barkell,
2 outs now.
it's consecutive hitters on consecutive pitches. And Max Nietrauer is the hitter with the bases loaded. And we've got a visit to the mound. Chris Painter wants to talk things over with his pitcher, Elijah Barkell, who has gone the distance so far. We are in the bottom of the 4th inning in a 4-2 game. Southern Wells is out in front of Cowan. I hope someone notices a game ball that has been thrown back in. It's about 25 feet from the plate over here in foul ground on the first base side. And now the catcher does see it. Reinhardt on the ball, literally. And he'll give it the blue. So no place to put Max Nietrauer. He is the hitter with bags loaded and 2 down in a 4-2 game. He takes outside ball 1. Nietrauer is without an official time at bat. He walked the first time, sacrificed the second time. Just a single would tie the game. Here's the pitch. It's low and away, and it's 2-0. And Barkell is really struggling with his location here in the 4th. He may be tiring. He'll go from the stretch, and here's the pitch. This one over for a strike. Still 2-1. Nietrauer out in front with the bags loaded. Here's the pitch. Ground ball towards short. Huffman fields, flips to second. They get the easy one on a 6-4 play out at second base for the final out of the inning. No runs, a hit, a couple of hit batsmen. They leave 3 men on base. We're through 4 complete here in Anderson. It's Southern Wells out in front. They lead Cowan 4-2 on Beaver Media.
Everybody loves a good sports movie.
I've seen Rudy 10 times.
I love Hoosiers.
If there were a sports movie about steroids, it might be called The Myth, the Truth, and the Consequences. The myth is that steroids are good for your game. The truth is they're bad for you and the sport you play. And the long-term consequences on your health are downright ugly.
That's one movie I think I'll skip.
High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
Better time to consider a career in construction, from skilled tradesmen to project managers to technical engineers and even company owners. The depth of
We go to the 5th inning with Southern Wells out in front of Cowan, 4-2. I'm Brian Beaver. Thanks for joining me today. Good to have you along wherever you're listening. Love to know where you're listening, so drop me a note on Twitter at Delco Preps and say, hey, I was in Daleville, or hey, I was in Denver, Colorado, wherever you might be. This one moves to the final 3 innings with Southern Wells in the driver's seat right now, leading this one 4-2. 4 runs, 2 hits, 3 errors for the Raiders. Blackhawks have 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. Evan Davis will stay on the mound in relief of Austin Carnes, and it'll be 3, 4, and 5 here in the 5th for Southern Wells. And this one lined sharply foul down the right field line, out of play. Evan Huffman, the batter, a strikeout victim his first time, flied out the second time. He's 0 for 2. But he has home run power, and he has homered in the last 2 games in a row for the Raiders. Here comes the pitch. Big swing and a hack right on it, right back to the screen. Evan Huffman comes out of the don't get cheated department with his swing. He's an aggressive hitter, right-handed, open stance. Here comes the pitch to him. Takes upstairs. It's 2-1. Winner of this one goes to Memorial Day and takes on either Anderson Prep or Daleville. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Davis. Popped up, foul ground on the infield, right side. It's going to be back out of play. Keir gave chase but ran out of real estate, and it stays 1-2. Huffman, Michael Sutton, and Elijah Barkell, the hitters, due up here in the 5th for the Raiders. And we're back and ready to go. Here's the pitch. Line shot, right center field. It's going to shoot the gap. Henderson over to cut it off. He'll head for second base. They'll make a play on him, but he's going to be there safely with a stand-up double. Well hit ball by Evan Huffman. I told you they weren't going to get him all day. Too good a hitter for that, and he's aboard with a leadoff double. Michael Sutton now the hitter for the Raiders. Working on a 1-out-of-2 game. Single in the first, ground out in the third. Here's the pitch. It's a strike he was taking. 0-1. Raiders would love to get some insurance. 2 runs is not a huge lead. When your opponent has 3 more chances to hit, you got to go to work. Next one, a breaking ball upstairs. Count is 1-1. Evan Huffman out at second base. He has a big lead as the Blackhawks try to keep him close. Next one in the dirt. Catcher will fire down to third. He is going to be safe. Mace couldn't dig it cleanly. That moves Huffman to third. So a good shot at an RBI now for Sutton with a man at third and nobody out. He lifts one toward right field. That should get a run home. Nichar makes the catch. He'll fire to the plate. It's not going to be in time. Huffman tags, comes home to score, and that makes it 5-2 Southern Wells. They're going to appeal at third, saying he left early. He is safe. So that's a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Michael Sutton.
Another run scored brings up to bat now for the Raiders.
And that brings in Elijah Barkell. 5-2 game now. Barkell in there for the third time. He takes a strike. Barkell grounded out in the first, walked and scored in the third. Here comes the wind and the deal from Davis. Another fly ball, right field. Nichar comes in and calls it and makes the play. 2 down. That'll bring in Braden Schreiber, the first baseman for the Raiders.
Raiders bring back the first baseman, number 13, Braden Schreiber.
Schreiber, a right-handed swinger, and he pops one up right over the catcher toward the screen, but far enough away that Gaskell could not find it in time to get under it. There's a lot of room in foul ground here at Memorial Field. There's probably 60, maybe 70 feet between the plate and the backstop. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, foul up the third baseline. 0-2. So this is a different place to play than, say, Daleville, where you have half the room that you have here between the plate and the backstop. Here comes the 0-2. Fouled right back to that screen. Schreiber stays alive. This is an old school park, not net but chain link fence, and the backstop is 5 sections tall, probably 30 feet. Here comes the line and the delivery. Ground ball again, foul up the third baseline. They have a beautiful grandstand seating bowl here. This is a great place for a spectator to see a game, especially if you like to sit between the dugouts. Can't find much better in this part of the state. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And that erases Southern Wells in the 5th inning. Not before they do more damage. The Raiders pick up an insurance run on a double, a sacrifice fly. And after 4.5 innings, it's Southern Wells out in front of Cowan 5-2 on Beaver Media and YouTube Live.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Indiana. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The game moves now to the last of the 5th inning. Brian Beaver along with you again from Memorial Field. And on what has so far been a beautiful, dry Saturday, Southern Wells has gotten out to a 5-2 lead over Cowan. We'll move to the Blackhawk 5th, and this is the inning where you want to make some hay. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Blackhawks here in their half of the 5th inning. Still time to go to work. Need a couple runners in a row to get things going. And they'll start it with their number 3 hitter, Austin Carnes, who began the day pitching and is now playing shortstop. Elijah Barkell has gone the distance for Southern Wells. First pitch is a line drive on a hop through the 5-hole into left field for Austin Carnes. Beautiful base hit. Just what you needed. He ripped that one.
Walking to plate now for the Blackhawks, the third baseman, number 4, Jack Mace.
We talked about opportunities. Cowan has had their leadoff man aboard in 4 of the 5 innings and haven't done a lot with the opportunities. Jack Mace, his first pitch swinging in the air. Tough play down the right field line. It's in the ground for a fair ball and a base hit. The right fielder, Corey Shaw, made a great attempt on it. Going to his left toward the line. It came down about 3 feet inside the right field line, and consecutive hits for the Blackhawks to start the 5th inning, and there's trouble brewing for Southern Wells. I've been around this a long time. I've seen a lot of these rallies. There's a bunt on the first pitch back to the mound. He's going to go to third. It pulls him off the bag. Bad throw by Barkel, and everybody is safe. Wow. Gaskell was going to give himself up. That's got to be an E1. The throw was there in plenty of time, but Barkel left the throw on the left field side of third base. Sutton couldn't stay on the bag, and the bases are loaded with nobody out for Dylan Goodman. Infield in at all 4 spots, and he swings through the first pitch from Barkel. Goodman is 1 out of 2. He singled and got stranded back in the second. Grounded back to the mound his last time. Tapper up the third baseline, but it's foul. Quickly 0-2. Well, they've made me look like Karnak by saying this was the inning they needed to go to work, and all 3 men have reached base to start the Cowan 5th. Here's the pitch. Ground ball up the first baseline. He'll bring it home. They get the force at the plate, and that's all they get for the first out. Carnes is out. 3-2 on the fielder's choice. Everyone else moves up 1 station. And with 1 out, the bags are still loaded. And Colin Keir is the hitter. From the stretch, Barkel brings it home. He swings and can't get it. 0-1. Keir is 1 out of 2 in the game. A ground ball to short, a base hit. Back in the 4th inning. What you wouldn't give for a hit here, trailing 5-2 in the 5th. Swing and a miss. Chased the ball off the plate outside. Count is 0-2. Barkel trying to work out of a bases-loaded jam. He's gotten 1 of the outs. Here comes the pitch. Line shot toward short on the ground. Flip to second for 1. Throw to first. They got them both. Double play. 6-4-3. And the Raiders make the biggest play of the day. Wow. Well done. And just that fast, Cowan's threat ends harmlessly. No runs, couple of hits, an error. Wow. You leave 2 men on. We're through 5 complete in Anderson. It's Southern Wells 5, Cowan 2 on Beaver Media and on YouTube Live. Don't go away.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants and salesmen who give up their Friday evenings to referee.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
What makes high school sports here in Indiana so special? They do. You do.
We all do.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Methodist Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider for all state champion events. Ivy Tech Community College.
Welcome back to the ball game. That was a big moment there in this game. Cowan loaded the bases to start the 5th inning, and with nobody out, they had the tying runs on base, the go-ahead run at the plate, and they couldn't get around home. That's a huge, huge turning point in this game. And we've had a pitching change between innings by the Blackhawks. And they're going to bring on arguably their best pitcher in Casey Henderson to try to keep Southern Wells at bay going to the 6th inning in a 5-2 game. Blackhawks had everything going their way, but that was a beautifully turned double play to end the inning. And defense has been big in this one. It really has. Some great pitching defense on the mound by both teams on tough ground balls. And you got exactly what you wanted if you're a Southern Wells fan with that 6-4-3 twin killing that just took the air out of Cowan's balloon. Tough to bounce back from a momentum play like that. Let's see how they handle it in the Cowan dugout. We start the 6th inning with Southern Wells and their designated hitter, Kyle Stroud. 7, 8, and 9 in the Raider batting order here in the 6th inning. With Henderson on the mound, here's the pitch. It's just outside, ball 1. Stroud takes another look at a fastball off the outer edge. Cowan fans thought Henderson got squeezed. It's 2-0. Stroud reached on a hit batsman and scored a run. Swing and a miss. 2-1. He got hit by a pitch in the 2nd. Walked in the 3rd, and now a break in play as the home plate umpire takes off his mask and goes over toward the Cowan dugout. He was getting some static, and he wasn't having any of it. Now we're back and ready. Here's the windup. Henderson's pitch, a called strike, and it's 2-2. They'll take a little of it, but they won't take a lot of it, and rightfully so. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Henderson. Fouled back out of play into the parking lot. This is one of those parks where you can lose a windshield if you park in the wrong spot, because the lot's right up against the ballpark. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. The gas got him. 1 away. Henderson strikes out the first man he faces today, and that brings in the 8-hole hitter. The Southern Wells right fielder has had a pretty good day. He's 1 out of 2 with a walk around the bases for a run after singling, and then a strikeout. First one home to him misses for ball 1. And he's ready for more. Lefty against lefty. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Henderson back to work quickly. He has a really good quick delivery rate. He missed with that one to make it 2-1. These 9 strikeouts, I believe, from his 200th in his career. Foul tip, catcher holds on. And it's 2-2. And in fact, with that strikeout of Stroud, that would put him within 8 of 200. There's a swing and a miss. 2 straight swinging strikeouts here in the 6th inning by Southern Wells. Casey had a great game 10 days ago. He pitched 7 innings against Delta in a 3-2 loss, struck out 14, walked nobody, pitching as well as he ever has. Next one is a swing and a miss by the 9-hole hitter, Cody Bass. And Casey Henderson is putting on a show here in the 6th inning on the mound. The windup, here comes the pitch. Fastball just outside. It's 1-1. Henderson in his 11th game, 288 earned run average. He's striking out almost 4 times the hitters as he's walking. There's a swing and a miss. There's a pattern developing here, if you get my drift. Count is 1-2, and Henderson a pitch away from striking out the side. Here it comes. Fouled right back off the screen, and it stays 1-2. If you're Cowan, you can't afford to let them get any farther away. You're already down 5-2 in the sixth. You got to get them out. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Henderson comes on in relief and strikes out the side for Cowan here in the Southern Wells sixth.
3 up, 3 down.
We're through 5.5 innings from Memorial Field in Anderson. Time to get to work and in a hurry for Cowan. They trail Southern Wells 5-2 on Beaver Media.
The clutch shot, the timely hit, the perfect pitch, the heroic catch, the brilliant save, the photo finish. The Indiana High School Athletic Association would like to remind you that the biggest plays in sports matter little if you don't practice sportsmanship. Character counts. Practice sportsmanship. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
Welcome back to the ballpark. 1A sectional 55. Work to do for Cowan if they want to keep their season going. We go to the back half of the sixth inning with Cowan trailing Southern Wells 5-2. Elijah Barkell has gone the distance for Southern Wells. He's pitched a good game. He's done just enough to keep the Blackhawks at bay. Blackhawks have left 8 runners in the game.
Number 6, Evan.
And in the last 3 innings, they've left 2, 3, and 2. 8, 9, and 1 in the Cowan batting order here in the sixth. It's Evan Davis to lead off. Here's the pitch. Called strike on the outer edge. Chris Barton and Casey Henderson following behind Davis. Evan is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a pop-out. And he looks at another strike in the same spot, and he's quickly down 0-2. Davis trying to get a rally started for Cowan. They really need a runner. There's a fly ball toward right field. That should be easy work for Corey Shaw, and it is. 1 down. That brings up Chris Barton.
At bat for the Blackhawks with 1 out. Second baseman number 1, Chris Barton.
Barton, a .238 hitter for the regular season. He grounds one to the right of the first baseman. He has it on 1 hop, and he'll do it himself. Braden Schreiber takes care of it. 3 unassisted on the putout, and that's quickly 2 down. Now is where the rubber meets the road.
With 2 outs.
You've rolled over the top of the order for Cowan, and this is really probably realistically the last time they'll go through the top of the order, and you need something fast. First pitch home to Henderson is high ball 1. This is the part of your order that has to produce for you. When you're trailing 5-2 with less than 2 outs, 2 innings left in your season, you got to get to work. Next one is fouled back out of play. Henderson singled and scored in the first. Singleton was stranded in the third, was hit by a pitch and rubbed down on a force play in the fourth. Here's the pitch to him. Ground ball toward the shortstop hole. Huffman backhands, fires. He couldn't get him. Henderson safe on an infield single. Good hustle by one of the best players in the county. He just proved it again. And the inning stays alive.
Number 11, Max Nietrauer.
Max Nietrauer will hit with a man on and 2 down here in the sixth inning. A walk, a sacrifice, a fielder's choice. Officially 0 for 1. Henderson bluffs, pitches outside for ball 1. Trailing 5-2, you're probably not going to steal. Nietrauer looks down at Ryan Conwell as he rolls through the signs, and he's back in there and ready. Barkell from the stretch, he'll throw to first. Henderson, no problem with that. The tying run is in the on-deck circle, so you just want to keep the inning rolling if you're Nietrauer. Henderson bluffs again. The pitch is a strike, and the count is 1-1. This is your last best chance here and in the 7th inning with the heart, the meat of the order up as Cowan trails 5-2. Another throw to first. Again, it's a lollipop calling card. Southern Wells trying to get out of it here. Pop up, shallow right field. That's going to be trouble. It's down for a hit. Henderson around second. He heads for third. He'll be in there standing with a 2-out bloop single by Max Nietrauer. Second straight hit by the Blackhawks. And they bring the tying run to the plate. And it's Austin Carnes, their top RBI man, their top home run man.
Shortstop, number 3, Austin Carnes.
You got a chance right here, but you've got to capitalize if you're Carnes and Cowan. You can't let this opportunity go anywhere. And a balk has been called. Barkell spun to throw to first. His first baseman was not there. And that brings in Henderson. And it sends Nietrauer down to second base. Wow. Did not think we'd see that. That makes it 5-3. Here's the pitch. Pop back out of play. It'll be in the parking lot. So you're still in the same situation. The trying run is at the plate. Barnes trying to get Nietrauer around to score in a 5-3 game here in the 6th inning. Barkell ready, brings it home. Fouled right back in the screen. And Carnes is down 0-2. And I told you earlier in the game, this is one of those does not get fooled school of hitter type guys. He's aggressive. He's smart. Even at 0-2, you can't leave a cookie out over the plate. Here's the pitch. Chased the ball outside, but it gets away from the catcher, and he's going to be down at first base. Carnes struck out, but reaches. That moves Nietrauer down to third. Wow. How do you like that? The tying runs are aboard. And Jack Mace, the hitter, represents the go-ahead run. What an exciting time to be listening if you're just dabbling in here. Barkell is going to get a visit from Chris Painter, his head coach, with 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cowan has scored once in the frame. They've got Max Nietrauer at third. They've got Austin Carnes at first. And the batter is Jack Mace. Ground out single for Mace today. 1 out of 3 as the Daleville Broncos stroll into the park. Now they're going to head out and go talk baseball. Cowan actually led this one early, 2-0 after an inning, but since then it's been mostly Southern Wells. Raiders got 3 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th. They lead this one 5-3, but maybe not for long. Runners on the corners, 2 down. Jack Mace standing in, looking for some RBIs, and we'll see if Carnes is running at first. Here's the pitch. Carnes is running. They're going to throw halfway, the old cutoff play. Nobody fooled. And it's a stolen base by Austin Carnes. And now the tying runs are in scoring position. Pitch to Mace was a strike, so he's down 0-1. Ground ball towards second, just what the Raiders wanted. Easy 4-3 put out as Baumgartner throws to Schreiber, and the rally comes to a whimpering end. Cowan scores a run, but they leave men at second and third. We head for the 7th inning. It's do-or-die time now for Cowan. They trail Southern Wells 5-3 on Beaver Media and on YouTube Live.
Everybody loves a good sports movie.
I've seen Rudy 10 times.
I love Hoosiers.
If there were a sports movie about steroids, it might be called The Myth, the Truth, and the Consequences. Steroids are good for your game. The truth is they're bad for you and the sport you play. And the long-term consequences on your health are downright ugly.
That's one movie I think I'll skip.
High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
Welcome back to Sectional 55. We move to the 7th inning in a tight one. Southern Wells 5, Cowan 3. Casey Henderson will work again on the mound for Cowan here in the 7th inning. He's the third pitcher of the game to be used by the Blackhawks. Austin Carnes was the starter. Evan Davis relieved him to start the 4th. Went 2 innings. Henderson worked a 1-2-3, struck them all out. 6th inning. The last 6 batters have been retired in a row for Southern Wells, and they've struck out the last 4 times. Let's see if Casey Henderson can keep that streak rolling. It's the top of the order for Southern Wells here in the 7th inning. Mason Huffman, the leadoff batter, and the top man in the order, as he gets his first look at Casey Henderson. And he swings right through a fastball. Casey isn't wasting any time. He is bringing it into his windup. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, that evens the count 1-1. Dustin Baumgartner and Evan Huffman waiting in the wings for the Raiders here in their half of the 7th. They're an inning away from advancing in the sectional, leading 5-3. Here's Henderson's pitch. A swing and a miss again as Huffman chased gas upstairs. And Henderson is in front 1-2. Casey works quickly, and he's very effective. Here's the windup and his pitch. Popped up, back out of play over our heads. That's off somebody's roof. I don't know who. I just know it's not me. Count stays 1-2. His sign, he deals. This one is slapped back out of play in the air. On another roof. Ooh. Count stays 1-2. Henderson has been impressive. He has struck out the first 3 men he has faced. He's working on a 4th one right here. Here comes his pitch. Ground ball toward third. Mace bobbles it. Can't pick it up cleanly. He'll beat it out at first base. That ends the string as Huffman reaches the E5 on the hot corner by Mace. With Baumgartner standing in. Dustin Baumgartner. 2 singles, 2 RBIs, a 2 out of 3 day for the second sacker from Panito. Henderson from the stretch. Batter squares, tries to bunt it, can't get it. It's a strike. Cowan trailing 5-3. They have to get out of this inning without any damage by Southern Wells, realistically. Here's a throw to first, runner back safely. And if you're looking ahead to the Cowan half of the 7th, Gaskell, Goodman, and Keir due up for the guys from Cowan. Defensively work to do first for the Blackhawks. Next one bunted right back to the mound. Henderson slipped. He'll fire down to second. It's into center field. Everyone's going to be safe. Runner heads to third, and men will be safe on the corners. Henderson had his foot slip out from under him and then threw the ball past the second baseman into center field. That's going to have to be a throwing error, allowing the runner to go down to third. Batter at first. So Baumgartner at first. Huffman, Mason Huffman at third, and Evan Huffman, the hitter, with nobody out. And you've really got grief now if you're Cowan. Swing and a miss. Henderson took something off. Huffman swung out of his shoes. 0-1. This is a really good matchup. Terrific hitter, outstanding pitcher, and a game situation. Henderson has to get this guy out, plain and simple. He's ready with his stretch from the belt. Here's the pitch. Fly ball. Might get a run home. Right field. Here comes Nitrar with the catch. The tag. The runner is going to hold, and no one will go anywhere. Big out. One away on the fly to right. Both runners stay put. Men are still on the corners for Michael Sutton.
With 1 out and 2 on. At bat for the Raiders, number 11.
Sutton
Michael
has had a
Sutton.
good day in the cleanup hole. A single, a ground out, a sacrifice fly with a ribeye, and he has swung the bat well. Henderson still with work to do. Only 1 out, runners on first and third. Here comes his pitch. Runner from first is breaking. The throw will go down to third, and everyone is safe. Stolen base for Dustin Baumgartner. And 2 men in scoring position now for Michael Sutton. The pitch to him was a ball. He's up in the count 1-0. Second and third, you don't have a force out to play with now. If you're a Cowan, they're in tight at all 4 spots on the infield. Pitch high for a ball. You just can't let them score. Cowan is in on the infield at all 4 spots. In fact, the shortstop and second baseman are actually on the grass as the pitch is made. Fouled right back in the screen. Sutton is still ahead, 2-1. Cowan trailing 5-3. Southern Wells can really put this one on ice if they could get these 2 men home. Here's the pitch. Popped up on the infield. The shortstop calls it. Carnes has it for the second out. 2 down, and that brings up Elijah Barkell. He is the Southern Wells pitcher,
2 out and 2 on.
and he could really help his cause right here.
Elijah Barkell.
Henderson is 1 man away from working out of it and giving his team a chance. From the stretch, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Barkell also does not get cheated with 2 men on and 2 men out in the 7th inning of a 5-3 game. Swing and a miss. He chased something upstairs. And Henderson is a pitch away from getting out of a crisis. Still working out of the stretch instead of the windup. Here comes the pitch. He got him. Barkell couldn't catch up to it. Strike 3, 4th strikeout in 2 innings of work for Casey Henderson, and that's what Cowan had to have, and Henderson delivered. No runs, no hits, a couple of errors, 2 men left in scoring position. It's nitty-gritty time now for Cowan. We go to the last of the 7th. Southern Wells 5, Blackhawks 3 on Beaver Media and on YouTube Live.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Indiana. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
It's do or die time for the Cowan Blackhawks here in sectional 55. We move to the last of the 7th in a 5-3 game. Blackhawks need to get busy in a hurry. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the Blackhawks in their batting order here in their final chance. Dylan Gaskell, Dylan Goodman, and Colin Keir to face Elijah Barkell, who has worked the complete game so far for the Raiders. He has pitched a very strong game. He has gotten better as the game has gone on. His first pitch of the 7th is low ball 1.
Blackhawks is number 8, Dylan Gaskell.
Gaskell has a ground out, a fly out, and reached on an error to show for his day at the plate. He officially is 0 for 3, and they need him in the worst way as a base runner. Here's the pitch. Another one in the dirt, and it's 2-0. You start to think of fatigue when a pitcher has gone this deep into the game, and Cowan really could use him to tire here. Third straight pitch is in the dirt for a ball, and it's 3-0. That is a bad sign for Barkel and a really good sign for Cowan. You can't tie the game without getting at least one runner, and they hope they can do it right here. There's a strike on the outside corner. Gaskell was taking. And I got to believe here you might be taking again, as tired as Barkel appears to be. Here's the pitch. Ground ball toward the shortstop hole. Huffman over, bobbles it, fires. Can't get him. He's safe. Gaskell reaches, and I got to believe that's going to be an infield hit. That's a tough play, but we'll wait and see. Bottom line is Cowan has the leadoff man aboard like they needed. Going to score an E6. And that puts the tying run back at the plate for Cowan.
Gaskell advances first base on there, bring it to bat.
Dylan
now.
Goodman, the hitter.
Goodman.
He takes low and in, ball one. So the Blackhawks are not going to go quietly here in the seventh. Single ground outfielder's choice for Goodman today. He represents the tying run in a 5-3 game. Short lead at first. Calling card throw. Goodman singled to left to start his day, what they wouldn't give for another one right here. Pitches outside. Nice stop by the catcher, Reinhardt. The count is 2-0. One swing of the bat could tie you the game here. Barkel has to be careful. Here's the pitch home. Taken for a strike. 2-1 to Goodman. Gaskell down at first base. I don't think he's going anywhere unless there's a wild pitch or a pass ball or a ball in play. Ground ball back through the middle. Snared by the second baseman. He'll flip over to second base for a force play and a beauty. 4-6. That one was ticketed for center field, but a nice backhand play by Dustin Baumgartner out of the inning. They've had some good defensive plays in this game, and that was another one right there. So Colin Keir, the hitter, he still represents the tying run, and he takes outside ball one. Keir has singled in 3 trips. Left-handed hitter, snap throw to first. Well, you don't want to throw the ball away down the line here if you're Barkel. Goodman, the runner at first. He stays. Pitch comes home. It's a called strike. Keir took a fastball on the outer edge to make it 1-1. Beautiful sunshine right now. Raiders trying to end it. Cowan trying to tie or maybe win it. There's a slider for a called strike, a beauty, and it's 2-2. Check it, 1-2. Now you got to hit your way on. Ground ball towards short. This could do it. Hit slowly, though. Underhand flip to second. That's all they'll get. Relay to first is not in time. So for 2 hitters in a row, the out is at second base on a force play, this time 6-4. And Cowan keeps hope alive. Evan Davis is the hitter. He's 0 for 3 in the game. Colin Keir doesn't mean anything at first without Davis also scoring. Let's see if he can get something done. He takes high, ball one. You hear the crowd. Saw the Southern Wells fans to our right here on the first base side. And you'll know if they've won in a moment just from the sound. Here's a pitch. Home, and it's high. 2-0 to Evan Davis. The story of this game for Cowan has been men left on base. They have left a bushel. They've left 10 men on, all in the last 5 innings. Another throw to first, no trouble. Cowan left a man in the second, 2 men in the third, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for a strike on the outer edge, and it's 2-1. Exciting finish here in game 2 of sectional 55. Here's the pitch. Called strike on the outer edge, and Cowan is down to its final strike. 2-2 the count with 2 down here in the 7th inning. Cowan trailing 7-5, or rather 5-3. Here's the pitch. Foul back out of play. Nice job by Davis to stay alive. Still 2-2. Raiders 5, Blackhawks 3. Winner of this one stays alive. Here's the pitch. Foul tip. Back to the screen. Good battle. Davis staying alive with his team's hopes in his hands right now. Runner at first, 2 away in the 7th. Here's the pitch. Slapped on the ground on 2 hops to the second baseman. Baumgartner has it, throws him out, and the game is over. Southern Wells has come from behind to win the first game of the sectional for them, and they do it in dramatic style. Wow. Southern Wells puts away Cowan by a final score of 5-3. We'll take a break, come back and wrap it up for you here from Memorial Field in Anderson right after this. Blackhawks are done for the year on Beaver Media.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants and salesmen who give up their Friday evenings to referee.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
What makes high school sports here in Indiana so special? They do. You do.
We all do.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. The clutch shot, the timely hit, the perfect pitch, the heroic catch, the brilliant save, the photo finish. The Indiana High School Athletic Association would like to remind you that the biggest plays in sports matter little if you don't practice sportsmanship. Character counts. Practice sportsmanship. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
It's a good sports movie.
I've seen Rudy 10 times.
I love Hoosiers.
If there were a sports movie about steroids, it might be called The Myth, the Truth, and the Consequences. The myth is that steroids are good for your game. The truth is they're bad for you and the sport you play. And the long-term consequences on your health are downright ugly.
That's one movie I think I'll skip.
High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport. This message brought to you by the IHSAA and the high schools in this community.
He worked out early, practiced late, and studied well into the night. The next day, he did it all over again.
She missed time hanging out and socializing with friends so she could make it on time to practices and games.
He became a top student and a confident leader, even as he helped his team win back-to-back conference titles.
She became a role model in her community, even as she led her team to an undefeated season.
And when they finished playing high school sports, what did they do next?
She graduated from college with honors and went to work for a successful company.
He attended graduate school and became a difference maker in his community.
Because that's what student athletes in Indiana do. They use the skills they develop playing high school sports today
to do even bigger things in life tomorrow.
High school sports.
A winning part of a complete education.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. There's just one place where a team is more than a group of individual agendas. It's a catalyst for demonstrating the potential of the collaborative spirit. There's just one place where players, coaches, and fans experience the exhilaration that happens when an entire community rallies behind the school team. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. In addition, high school sports help young people in Indiana develop the discipline and confidence they need to be leaders in life, even as they unite communities like nothing else. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to Memorial Field in Anderson. The first of two games today is in the books, and it goes the way of the Southern Wells Raiders. The Raiders bounce back from a tough start, and they win this one today by a final of 5-3. Cowan checks out of the season 9-12, and Southern Wells, which came in at 3-20, picks up its fourth win of the year, and they'll move on to the semifinals with a record of 4-20. Southern Wells will get the winner of this next game coming up on Memorial Day in the semifinals. Speaking of the next game, it's going to be Anderson Prep Academy and Daleville. That game will probably start. Ballpark estimating here for you? Well, probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 3:30, and that's where we're scheduled to be. So far, so good today in terms of time. You look at this game, Cowan missed opportunities in this game today. They left 11 men on base in this game and had some scoring chances they just couldn't cash in, and they couldn't get it done. They had their chances and just failed to score. Great game pitched today and yesterday in this two-day completed game by Elijah Barkell of Southern Wells, who threw a unofficial 108-pitch complete game, went the distance, got his team the victory, and they lived to fight another day. Quick look at the line score for Southern Wells: 5 runs, 3 hits, 5 errors, 6 left on base. For Cowan, 3 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors, 11 men left on base. Barkell, the winning pitcher for Southern Wells, and again, they will move on now and play in round 2 in that Memorial Day triple hitter that we'll have for you here on Beaver Media and YouTube Live as well. Cowan used 3 pitchers today and yesterday. Austin Carnes, a 3-inning start. Evan Davis with 2 innings of relief in the middle. Casey Henderson through the final 2 innings for Cowan. He pitched very, very well, but it was too little too late for Cowan, and they check out for the season again with a record of 9 wins and 12 losses. So that'll do it. The field is being worked now. We'll have a second game coming up around 3:30. I'll nail down an official start time or rough start time and tweet it to you on Twitter at Delco Preps between now and then. But I'm going to guess for you people who want to check out and get a sandwich and come back later, probably going to be about 20 minutes, maybe 25 before we hit the air, before we hit the stream for Game 2 at Anderson Prep and Daleville. So the final score for the final time: Southern Wells 5, Cowan 3. I'm Brian Beaver. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time on Beaver Media. Have a great day, everybody.